Edible condoms.
Yeah.
AKA, no, that'd be a bad idea.
Yeah, they shouldn't be able to dissolve by bodily fluids. It would kind of defeat the purpose.
Right.
But
It's like, this is just fruit by the
I
foot.
only wear biodegradable condoms. Now meet my 17 children.
Or maybe...
Oh, you're Catholic.
Maybe... don't, because we have a show to run. Hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast, where ANY and Keyframe wonder about biodegradable condoms and other random drivel.
And
wait, how does that affect the acronym? So ANY wonder about edible AWKWARD.
The AWKWARDCast today, once again, I'm not even sure how often. You probably have been on 4 or 5 times already.
I think 4
Not
times.
in a while.
Yeah, but yeah, not in a while. But thank goodness we remedied this right away. But yeah, with us, the one and only and true Saberspark once again.
Hi.
Hello. Since you are such a barely known content. Oh god, I just glanced over and saw your subscriber count. Barely known content producer.
That wasn't deliberate, I swear.
But yeah. Still
should melt it down.
But either way, please do tell us, who are you, what do you do, and why should people care?
They shouldn't care. I don't know what I do. I don't know who I am. Where am I? Now, my name is Saberspark. I do animation-related reviews on YouTube and talk about weird stuff. And I am friends with Chrissy and ANY, and we've had them on the podcast, as they said before. We all fought in the Bernie trenches of '99. I love that. I love how the Bernie stuff, like, I'm not sure how you all feel about it. But
Bernie stuff, yeah.
No. Hear me out though. Where I talked to Race Best about this and another like Bernie colleagues, where it feels like you see these other fandoms pop up and go through their growing pains and nonsense, whether it'd be like, oh, drama or this or that. Bernie's to me felt like a boot camp, where it's like before I made my entrance into more of like the open waters of like nerddom, I went to Bernie boot camp, where I'm like, oh, so we deal with folks who are like this and like that, this kind of drama, this kind of egos, this kind of fun room parties, this kind of like the way conventions like conduct themselves with panels and applications and bless you and like having the con organizers and staff and the community guest versus the guest of honor. And it really got me like my feet wet as far as learning the ins and outs. So like when I go to MomoCon, which is like massive by comparison to any Bernie convention, I'm like, I know what to expect, kind of. It's a bit different, but I'm wearing my little like cadet like medal from my Bernie boot camp, and I'm like, I'm ready.
What's that meme with the people at the gallows and one guy's like, first time?
Oh yeah. First time.
That's
right.
every brony to another fandom. It's like first time,
Right. Well, what's interesting about it to me that makes it bronies, because I mean, furries can claim the same thing, Star Wars, Star Trek, but like, I'm sorry, forgive me for derailing the podcast, but where I see a big difference is the microcosm. I think that's the right term for bronies, where it's like it's such a smaller fandom, but there was so much packed into it for like animation, art. Right. Well, it also was like really fired up on making things. Like, man, we keep raising the bar, and as much as people proclaim it to be cringe, and as many of us look back and we're like, that was a chapter. I don't regret it, and I also think it was quite remarkable to see how much happened in such a small fandom that kind of braced me or prepared me for the future of other fandoms, where I'm like part of the cartoon community, which I'm like, what the fuck does it even mean? The cartoon community. What do you, dude? One of those awkward things ever. Can I just be full on like candid with you all?
Yeah. I'm enjoying.
Haven't had you on. We haven't had you on since the height of lockdown last year.
Yeah,
Go right ahead.
And I'm enjoying you just going off, so please continue.
Less work for us to do.
So the cartoon community.
Yeah, do tell.
The cartoon community is a bit interesting to me because, like, I've kind of distanced myself from them, not out of spite or out of like me resenting them by any means, but more of a like I just like being me as a creator, and I'll acknowledge them and appreciate their content. But it's just the concept of the cartoon community is bizarre because they're like, we're the cartoon community. I'm like, oh, you make cartoons? No. we talk about them. Right. And there was one panel at MomoCon 2019 where one of the guys in the cartoon community, great guy, his name's Kev, and he works with the Roundtable. And I really like his fire for like trying to organize cartoon community fandom stuff. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. And it was this panel where different folks from said cartoon community would go on stage to like present along with the creator of said like pilot or cartoon short.
Oh, I remember this panel. Me and the DA crew were at it because this is where they showed clips for I think like Has Been and Long Gone Gulch and stuff. Yeah.
And I kind of agreed to it because I'm like, okay, I'll just go because conformity or whatever. It's a group effort, whatever. But when the panel was going on, I'm like, what the fuck's this panel about? Like, why are we here? Like, we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything to contribute to this stuff. Like, let the creators go up there. They can talk for themselves. Like, hello, this is the person who made this cartoon. Shut up, be quiet. I'm going to present it. Why? Because I watched it. And it's like, it doesn't make sense. And I just laughed internally. I'm like, this is a silly panel. And which makes me love it that much more, where I'm like, one of my favorite things about these fandoms, conventions, panels is just the absurdity of it all, where no one knows what the fuck they're doing. And we're all just here trying to make it happen, whether it actually works or not. But regardless, you're walking away with a good story. And I enjoyed the hell out of that.
It's weird, man. I mean, like, because, I'm in more generalized communities now. I have a big portion of my fan base who doesn't know me as a brony creator. They just know me as a creator, which is great. But there was this realization that a bunch of people had in Salty DK Dan's server, Derek's server, because I'm part of his friend lock series that he does. Where people finally saw my little icon, which has like my pony in it. Though most people don't know what the icon is because it just looks like brown, blue, orange, and it just looks like shapes. But like they were like, wait, are you Keyframe? I was like, that's half my name. And they're like, dude, you were my childhood. And I'm like, how young are you? Yeah, like how young?
Yeah.
How young are you? And I mean, I don't ask that because asking people about their ages in that context, I don't know. That's just some people were like, I grew up in high school watching you, or in junior high, and stuff. I'm like,
it just gets worse. I got an email where it was somebody was like, I have been watching Saberspark since I was 9, and I like almost fell to the ground from having an aneurysm.
9 years ago, so yeah, somebody could be an adult now who started at age 9. If they watched you from the
very beginning. It breaks my heart. It only gets worse in time. It only gets worse.
But like some people were like, I was like 11 when I first watched you, or I was like just starting high school and I saw your stuff, and like you with Silver Quill, and you talking about fan fictions with ANY. I love some of your fanfic readings, and I was just like, you got me into the brony analyst community. I'm like, first of all, I'm glad I was the one who did that. You started with a paragon of taste. And then some people were like, yeah, I watched TF2. And it's just like, what the fuck? This is someone's childhood, or at least their formative years, and I was part of that. Are you?
Well, that's weird. I'm not sure if it's a scary thought, but it is definitely a thought.
I mean, they were also they were that, they also just, I think the nicest compliment I ever got once, and this is not me trying to sound egotistical, is them saying, of all the people in that community, you always seemed like you were the one that actually was a person and not a character. And I was like,
Oh,
No,
that's actually really nice. Yeah, and then they went on a spree about just shitting on everyone else, and I'm not going to repeat that part. They were, without saying names, they were just like, oh, they always felt like they were up their own ass and all that stuff after I grew up. But every time I look back on you were the okay one. It's like,
does the Bernie analysis people, do they still hang? I can say that except for the first like maybe year and a half of the Bernie experience, I wasn't there for it. But from like late 2011 to this point, I've been quite the participant, and I've seen a lot and experienced a lot.
We're not naming names here. We're not going to drop that tea.
But as far as the Bernie analysis goes, I remember it was around like 2014 when they really started to have a foothold, and I was like, oh, this must be its own subgenre of the fandom. I remember going to like, is it still alive? Do you guys still have potlucks or something?
We know of. I mean, Golden still does stuff. Lightning Bliss still does stuff. Doc still does stuff.
And
Silver does. Like
from the
people still do. Yeah, people still. Basically, people on the TF2's team that are still there do things. Yeah. I think like KP has moved on to do generalized content and all that. Like Ink now does books and game design.
I do this.
I don't know what Josh. I do my things. I don't know what Josh does. Josh may still review episodes, but he seems to have just started doing his own top 10 lists. But
I believe Lizzie and Maddie, I believe, do so. Because there's a Skype group for the TF2 crew, and they 90% of the time talk about TF2 unrelated stuff, like posting their new videos or watch parties or whatever, and.
But it's just that kind of thing. It's still alive, and apparently sometimes there's new people. And I'm honestly excited. I'm honestly excited for G5 to come out and just see it at a new Prometheus again and be the one watching, because because it's just kind of like first time, huh? It's just these new people who probably were like. Because there's going to be those Robin 0928s who were like in school and they're making them in Windows Movie Maker, or the ANYs who were who just got out of college doing this kind of stuff.
No! During my prime time, I was in college. That's the thing.
That's
the moment I actually started working, this is when my content because I didn't have time anymore and energy.
Then when you're in college doing that, like an ANY, or you're a fully grown person like
Doc,
like Silver Quill and Doc.
Yeah,
like it's just going to be like
next to a job. Like how I have
now who's going to be the next Saber who starts out with it? And then becomes the drunk uncle, and then becomes a big person in the generalized community.
I am aside myself that I've somehow failed upwards, but like something that Paleo and Jacksplit have noticed, and I find quite amusing, is that there seems to be like this resurgence, or at least there's more attention for the ponies on like TikTok and Twitter and whatnot. But you've got people being like, I bet you this white bitch, she's crazy in bed with like Rarity, or this pink one, she's nuts, I bet she kills somebody. And yet people like memeing on it. And I'm like, hold on, is this the resurgence? Like, is this going to be the next wave?
My Little Pony?
Is Gen Z finally getting to? Because I mean, to be fair, like Bernie's in our awkwardness in our like late teens or early 20s, mid 20s, whatever, 30s, doing our thing. But then you actually had the kids who came in afterwards, and like when you see all those millions of views on MLP clips, those are the young kids who grew up with it, and now they're turning into teenagers and in their 20s. So I wonder if their nostalgia is kicking in and might kick into G5, which might cause a resurgence. I just don't know if there'll be a kickback to that where they're like, let's do it. Oh, bronies.
That's just gonna,
That's a stigma.
it's just gonna be weird. At some point, we're gonna hear people being nostalgic about Equestria Girls. Like, there are kids who grew up with Equestria Girls who, because the first Equestria Girls came out in, what, 2013?
Yeah.
So let's just say that they were 10 when that came out. We're in 2021. How many years is that? That's like
8 years on top of it. So
they're in college now. I hate this.
Worse.
This is supposed to be the week segment.
yeah, I mean, then again, not much happened in my week, for example. So
Not much. Yeah, I mean, I had something happen in mine, but that goes into my media. So, Saber, did you have anything notable happen this week besides maybe picking up
or in the entire time since your last appearance on the show? What's going on in the life of the Saberspark?
That's nearly a year. We don't have that much time. We just went back to memory lane once already.
I guess as far as like topical stuff going on, working on videos, got my trip coming up to go see my grandfather. Summer's, kind of in full swing.
So hot.
There's it's a bit of, oh, I know I am, but I know there's a bit of a,
it's the hair.
I know that there's
You're
the
right,
hair.
but shut up.
So it's a mixture of like, so 2020 put us in this weird little compartment where it's like, okay, I guess we're at home now, or at least a lot of folks are getting used to a more at-home basis. And now it's like we're emerging from that. So what was a status quo with the day-to-day living, I'm starting to like, okay, I'm exploring a little bit outside of that. Like I realized that the pool in my town is open and there's no more restrictions. Like COVID in my town is virtually like gone as far as we can tell. Like the new cases are almost zero.
Running gag in today's episode.
The pool. Oh yeah, you went swimming too, right?
Yeah, because that's gonna go into my week. But we have a pool in our apartment villa, and it's open now. So I started swimming there yesterday, and now
Nice.
I'm trying to make it a thing that I work out twice a day. Go to the
Jesus.
gym, and then sometime in the morning or evening I go swimming because that's a full body exercise. So that way I could be fully shredded and anime buff. So that way I can beat up Max in November and beat up you at the next MomoCon.
We're done for
Yeah,
minutes. We're
Solid
dead.
planning. I can appreciate
Dead
it.
men.
Max is the warm up because that's gonna be easy. I could probably give him one good punch in the stomach and he'll evaporate into dust. you may need a couple extra punches.
I remember the time when this would have not been possible, but yeah, my personal exercise routine has suffered so badly over the last 1.5 years.
It's been an inverse proportion of the more I work out and get buff is when he's losing muscle mass. Because I actually scared people yesterday because I took a picture at the gym and I flexed my arm and people were like, your arms are getting big. And I was like, oh shit, I guess they are.
Let's
I can't wait to
obviously
beat people up.
inspect and comment on this in real time. Which photo? The photo where you have the arm up or where you have the arm down?
I had the arm down because that's when you can flex this and you just see the width of the arm. Yeah, I have a pretty big bicep for a girl. Like it's they're getting there. They are getting there.
Yeah, actually not really that flexing on this one. Wait, what?
Oh, that's just me talking about In the Heights. You went to
it's a different tweet. Twitter, don't confuse me like this. I was like, okay, gym photo 1, gym picture 2, gym picture in a scary tunnel.
No,
have I entered Willy Wonka, the scary tunnel?
No, Abuela Claudia is not part of my gym routine. I mean, I was listening to the In the Heights soundtrack while working out.
So I wasn't
yesterday.
that far off.
Gets you pumped, man. Like that. The Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans know how to make good music to get you pumped up. Let me just say that.
I will take your word for it.
But yeah, so I've been scaring people, which is just my goal. I've spent most of my life being scared of people. Now it's time for the other way around.
Return fire.
That's a spirit.
I spent part of my weekend sending threatening texts to Saber through Lauren, which was great.
Scared.
That's how she
Fedora.
got you to come back onto the show. Now I get it.
Yep, I was threatened.
You said that I was
Blackmailed.
wearing a fedora, which is the ultimate insult.
I mean, I thought it was. I thought it was a fedora.
It's not a fedora, it's a sun hat.
That's
just a
always
large fedora.
Mm-hmm.
I got that sun hat with Max when we went to the Santa Monica Pier. We both realized we could get sunburns on our heads. Also, there was a tank top at one of the stores on the pier that I tried to get Max to buy, and he said no because it's too real, and it just says abs a work in progress. And he's like, I don't want to buy that because that's too real. It's like, oh, yeah. I should have bought it. I should have bought it.
Not even sure if I'm one of those people who are genetically not capable of developing visible apps. So,
I know.
At this point,
I should have bought it. I wonder if it's still there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have all that going on. You had nothing going on in your week.
Mostly allergies, really. It reached the point where, I am still 100% in home office. So a lot of meetings via Hangouts. And on Friday,
sneezing and blowing your nose on camera.
No, but that's the thing. On Friday, I reached the point where I left my camera off the entire day throughout meetings. And I just had the little paper stuck in my nose the entire day just to stop stop the drip and B stop New Poland from getting in. And
I've had those days. Because I used to have really bad pollen allergies. Surprisingly, I don't anymore. I wonder if it's just Midwestern pollen.
Maybe.
Fuck you, Indiana.
One more reason to never return, I guess. But it reached the point where a direct colleague I had multiple meetings with this day was like, "You're not showing your face today, are you?" I'm like, "No."
Don't look at me.
I'm sweaty. I'm melting because while we are not having California temperatures here, we are. It's
hot for Germany.
Yeah, if I'm informed correctly, we are in the 90s Fahrenheit. So like mid 30s Celsius.
That's still gross. That's still gross.
Yeah, it's like here I have to say, God bless home office, because.
Oh, the train would have been unbearable, or riding your bike. Both would have been awful.
Let's just put it like this: my work attire is a little bit more casual nowadays. Reached the underwear lost any sexiness to it because it's just standard day wear situation.
No. I can't say that's wrong. I am only wearing clothes because of this podcast.
Mm-hmm. I have not been wearing a shirt, at least not. No, I have been wearing a loose T-shirt, but yeah, I put on a shirt also for this show.
It's 100. Yeah. I hate that the new desktop version of Windows shows the temperature outside.
Oh yeah, it's 100 on my end too.
It's 103 right now.
Oh, I turned that off.
You think these lights are for aesthetic? No. It's because I can't open those windows because the sunlight alone will turn this room into an oven. We have kept all the blinds in our house closed. We look like hermits because the sun, there is no ozone layer, I swear. It is just, I will walk out. I put on SPF 100 sunscreen to go to the pool yesterday, and I still feel like I must have got burnt because it's just like, it's so fucking hot. I swear the water got warmer. That ruins the purpose of a fucking pool. But okay.
California scares me. It scares me.
California,
this like godforsaken state. I'm staying away.
No, Arizona is the godforsaken state. Because when I talk about, it's in the hundreds, it sucks, Chris is like, nay. Come to Arizona. That's our lows. Like, I wonder what happens if I type in weather in Arizona.
What's like what about the hills?
It's 114 degrees right now.
What about Death Valley?
Okay, weather in Death Valley.
So we had
probably
114.
130.
117.
Oh, just 3
with
more.
A high of with a high of 122. For you Celsius people, that's 47.
Murder.
I mean, it's been so hard to ever explain California weather to people. You know how weird it was to explain to Max the first few times he came down here during the fall and early spring to be like, hey, you may want to pack some short sleeves. Why? It's like October. You may want to pack some short sleeves.
No, I believe I got into the to the airport in Germany, like wearing my coat and everything. Plane, obviously, as well, because they always turn up their AC. And then within LAX, still nice fresh temperatures. And then you walk through this gate.
The sliding doors, and then
let me take off my coat, thank you very much.
Let me shed. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I guess let's do my week because it goes into media.
You actually have events. Okay, you go for it.
Well, yeah, because I got to see Lauren. Yeah, so I mean, my week is just a weekend because I spent the whole week off. I took a week off from working on other people's shit.
Good for you. You go.
I spent the last week comping videos for people. I edited a video for DA Games. I did a bunch of shit. And I was like, taking a week off. Because if I don't, I'm not going to be the same person. and like, my friends will probably yell at me because I've been doing nothing but having breakdowns because I've been working so much. I don't need my friends yelling at me, even if it's out of love. So I took a week off, which has just been me sleeping, then cooking, then sleeping, then working on my own things, then sleeping. And
no gym?
It's been and gym. Oh. But okay, gym is like breathing. If I'm breathing, that means I must be going to the gym. So we got that. And also just been baking. Hell of a lot of baking. A lot of bread.
Yeah, we get it. It's hot in California, but what have you been doing?
I'm sorry that I'm proud that I know how to make bagels and focaccia bread and naan. I'm sorry that I'm expanding my yeast-filled horizons. I'm sorry that I'm not someone who just pours a bunch of soy sauce on something and calls it food.
First of all, I am no longer allowed to do this.
You are not allowed. You weren't allowed in the first place in the cosmic sense. Now you just have someone living in your house to tell you no. But anyways, moving on from you. On Friday, I went down to Glendale to see Lauren. Her pool was open, so we went there. That was great. But the big thing was that for the first time since, I'm not counting when I went to go see Lupin in Orange County, because that was not truly a theater experience because you still had to wear your mask. There was no popcorn or drinks or anything. It was just sitting. But it was the first time since going to see Onward at the Galleria in March of last year that I went to a movie theater. The AMC allowed no masks for fully vaccinated people like me and Lauren. And they had the food court all set up. All the soda machines were still there. Lauren judged me because I don't put ice in my soda.
How un-American.
But if you put ice in it, it waters the soda down because you're sipping it throughout the movie. The ice is going to melt.
Yeah.
Also, you're getting less soda. I don't pay the amount of money I pay at a movie theater food court for less food. But, and we went to go see In the Heights. And just to say, I think they knew how much people miss the movie theaters because before the movie started, there was a thing with Lin-Manuel and John Cho saying, like, we're glad you guys have made it to the theater. I know that this is a very foreign experience. Aren't you guys glad to be back in the movie theater? Yes, Daddy Lin. I'm very happy. It was so nice. It was so nice to hear other people's reactions to scenes. It felt so good. And also, it was nice to just see trailers that didn't have a trailer before the trailer, like every time someone uploads a trailer to YouTube, which is stupid. Right. Stop it. But yeah, we had trailers for Free Guy, which makes me realize how long Free Guy has been advertised to come out, because I think I saw posters for that when the last time I was in Berlin in November of 2019. The Ryan Reynolds movie where he's the NPC.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
We got trailers for Dear Evan Hansen, which looks like it's gonna make me cry. There's a Mark Wahlberg movie where he walks across the United States because his gay kid killed himself, which is gonna make me cry. There was a trailer for Space Jam 2,
Which made you cry.
Which is going to be which is actually going to be shown in movie theaters around here. So I almost started crying. There's also a Hugh Jackman movie that's made by the co-creator
back on
of
the big screen. I'm about to cry too.
Yeah, Look, I wasn't a 90s kid. I didn't get to experience that. I get to experience it now. And I get to experience evil Don Cheadle.
I actually don't think I saw Space Jam in theater back then.
Well,
also, all joking aside, I am curious for where the new Lola will land. Like, OG Lola, she was just very one-dimensional. Then we had the Looney Tunes showed Lola, which was just like, the right amount of crazy. Perfect.
I just wonder how much that they only use the 2 of the same clips of her for every trailer, so who knows? But no, yeah. Then I'm gonna go into my media, which is the movie In the Heights. Thank you. So if you don't know what In the Heights is, don't feel bad, because apparently everyone I've talked to about this movie doesn't know what In the Heights is. In the Heights was the musical Lin-Manuel made before Hamilton, like all the way back in 2008.
The Hamilton prequel.
Can I kick you from the call? I can!
Wait, what?
Yeah, I made the group. I can kick you.
Oh, no.
Make me. I will, and I'll make it look like a bloody accident. But yes, no, it's the musical he made before Hamilton back in 2008. It's the one he won his first Tony Award for Best Musical. It's really good. I love this musical. It is about this group of Latinos that live up in Washington Heights, which is an area in Upper Manhattan, and it's just this tight-knit community experiencing that their town is basically dying, like gentrification, prices are going up, that kind of stuff. People are having to move away and all this kind of thing. And there's this framing device of a blackout and a lottery and a bunch of stuff. But it follows, the main guy is Usnavi, who is played by Anthony Ramos. And he's the owner of a little bodega in the barrio. And it's him, he finally gets the chance to go back home to the Dominican Republic, which he hasn't been to since he was 8, to rebuild his dad's bar on the beach. And it's him telling this story. And there's a bunch of characters. There is Nina Rosario, who's his best friend, who just came back from going to school at Stanford, who doesn't want to go back to Stanford. Her dad, who sold half of the company so she can go to Stanford because Stanford's expensive. His best friend Benny, who likes Nina. There's the salon owners. There's Abuela Claudia, who's basically adopted the whole neighborhood, so she's everyone's abuela, who, if you don't know what abuela is, it's basically a grandmother. I feel like you can get context clues. And it's just this very... It's a musical that is very proud to be the culture that it is. Like, it's... I don't want to overstep with what I'm saying, because I know the story of this musical is not my story. You get what I mean? This is a story about a marginalized group of people. And it's them being prideful about their culture, being full of pride, and also trying to overcome things when the odds are stacked against them simply because of who they are. Which is shitty. And you know what? There is part of you, especially if you are a privileged white person like me, who's going to feel shitty for a moment watching some of this stuff happen, because they do mention DACA and the Dreamers and undocumented citizens in this. And you should feel shitty. I think this is a moment that you should feel shitty because it's not fair. And it's like, it's one of those things that I'm very happy that they get to proclaim this with such a to the pointness on a big screen in front of a major audience. But not to say that this film is a drama. There is a lot of funny moments. There's a lot of high energy moments. It made me realize how long it's been since we've gotten a musical that just have true blue big dancing numbers with a lot of dancers doing dancing. I think the last time I've ever heard of that was Cats, but that doesn't really count because Cats was just a bunch of people in front of a green screen.
The water park scene
Oh,
was fun.
Yeah,
I like that.
That has over 500 extras doing that at the actual pool that's there in Washington Heights.
Not
that's
sure if Greatest Showman counts because it's a lot smaller group who does the dancing.
Yeah, but we're talking about scenes that have over 500 people.
Yeah, I guess Greatest Showman doesn't crack that.
Nah, but it's so good. I love the music. Just is so like it gets you pumped up. Like there are moments that make you feel chills, especially Abuela's big number, Paciencia y Fe. I'm not going to say what happens in the song. I'm not going to say how they changed the song's meaning from the Broadway show to now. But let me tell you, I did hear the whole theater start sobbing. There were scenes in this movie that the entire theater, you can hear people trying to either hold in their tears or they're crying. I glanced over, people are like holding on to other people. Like it gets to you. But then there's scenes like Carnaval de Barrio where people in their seats are like kind of dancing. They're just like, yeah, I'm vibing.
So I watched it with Laura. I can actually weigh in. You said that no one else knows of this. I can watch. So yeah, Laura's really big into musicals, and she loves Lynn, and she was the one who introduced me to Hamilton, which is funny because now I'm like really going into history with Hamilton and like listening to the audiobook. That was the book that Lynn read and inspired him, or at least served as a really great source for writing Hamilton. But In the Heights was my first, like, I'm like, oh, I had no idea. Like you said, it was like it was before Hamilton. It's something that he, I guess, built a reputation.
This is what Lynn was doing. This is what Lynn was doing in college. Do we feel shitty now? Like,
well, I wouldn't. So I my favorite part in the entire film was the beginning of all things. When they showed all like kind of like good morning, waking up, the people are starting to get
actual opening number, yeah.
Bonjour.
I love
Bonjour.
Right, absolutely. So that just seeing them start their day, seeing their culture, that was fun. And you're right. There's a bit of there's absolutely not undertones. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, white privilege, where like the Hispanic people are being like glossed over for, like, oh, we can't interview you, or we turning down your loan or whatever, like, or you applying for anything. And I understand that. And the Abuela scene, like Laura cried, like she was crying during that scene, and I'm like, oh, it's a beautiful scene.
It's a beautiful scene. I'm so glad that they kept the actress who played her in the original Broadway show as Abuela in the movie, like, which is perfect because she's perfect. Love her, but it's such a, it's a, I don't know. It's so hard to describe like the feeling this musical gives me. I mean, it makes me homesick as fuck because they filmed it in New York. There's no sound stage, which is good. Like it feels like it is, so it has that kind of natural grit that being in Brooklyn and the Bronx and Manhattan has.
Personality.
Great. Yeah, the personality. Also, the visuals are so good. I mean, I don't know what you expect less of from the guy who made Crazy Rich Asians. This thing is very visual, heavy, like very creative camera angles, sometimes visual effects, like. There's this one song called When the Sun Goes Down that has this dance number that is just so beautiful. I don't where they're like where they're dancing literally on the side of a building. Like if this is the building, this is how they're dancing, and it looks great. And I love it so much. I guess maybe some people wouldn't like, because it's an ensemble cast, because the point of the musical is that it's showing everyone's little dream and everything, that that the offshoot songs, like when it goes to Nina, if you wanted something that just focused solely on Usnavi's story, you're not going to get that because everyone's story weaves into each other. So you're going to get moments of the ensemble. So if you don't like things that have more than one character you need to track, sorry, this may not be for you.
And
But
I guess
I
if you
think that
don't like musicals, you're probably
Well, yeah.
not getting in.
But it's also just the thing of like, I feel like having it formatted that way heightens the fact that how close-knit of a community the Washington Heights community is. And as someone who lived around that culture and stuff when I lived in New York, that is just a normal thing to have a community just based around culture, that it's like we are basically close enough to everyone that you just go over to people's houses to eat. Which I guess is a very foreign thing to a lot of people.
I don't even know the names of any of my neighbors. Oh no, the one right above us.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that is such a, it's a big deal when someone's moving out, like, of the community. Like, they hold a lot of stuff dear to them. And I mean, there's literally a song called Alabanza, which means to hold up to God, and it's basically talking about like how a character held a lot of things close to them that would seem inconsequential to other people, and in that way the entire community holds that person up to God, like with reverence. And it just hits different, you know. I just love this. I love this musical. I feel bad when I talk about it, not in that I feel bad talking about it. I feel bad that it seems like when I start to describe that the movie is about this community, so many people I talk to's eyes glaze over because it's about a community they can't personally relate to. And I'm like, well, fuck you then. Broaden your horizons, like, come on now. Do you need everything to personally relate to you for you to enjoy it?
But yeah, so I guess that is probably some kind of a segue into who should watch the movie.
Who should watch the movie is people of taste.
And maybe people who want to widen their horizons.
Yeah, if you want to see a glimpse into a community that is not your own. And if you want a glimpse into, well, I guess the song's lyric says it for itself, a day in the life of what it's like in Washington Heights. Like, you should watch it. It's so good. Special shout out though to Lynn. There's a character from the musical that was almost gonna get cut, but then he was like, fine, I'll play the character, and that way he gets to keep it in there, which is Mr. Piragua. I'm butchering the name of it, but it's Shaved Ice. I love him. And I love the detail that apparently he based his costume he wore off of what his grandpa used to wear. Like the glasses, the tucked-in shirt, the high socks. If you don't know what piragua is, it's shaved ice with like syrup. And this was actually a thing in the musical to signify big companies trying to take down a little company. And God, I love him. He
has grown a little bit of a belly.
I think he just had to try to get a dad bod. I mean, he is a father of 2 kids, and many Tonys, and Grammys, and Emmys. But yeah, the Mr. Softy guy, who, if you recognize the guy who is in the Mr. Softy truck, that's George Washington.
From Hamilton.
Yeah, but the fun thing is that Lynn played Usnavi in the original musical, and the guy who played George Washington, Christopher Jackson, played Benny, the best friend in the original In the Heights. So this is Benny and Usnavi being mortal enemies in the movie. But yeah, like, it's just a thing of trying to, that he wanted to keep it in because it is a symbol of a big company and the little guy just, scraping by and still trying to keep his head up.
Did you watch the end of the movie?
Oh yeah, the after credits scene. There is an after credits scene with Mr. Piragua, which I love.
Yep.
And the thing was, I was whispering to Lauren during the credits, like, you know, there were 2 songs that I'm sad that they didn't keep in the movie. One I understand because they changed how the narratives formed, and 2 was the reprise to Piña. And then the after credit scene happened. I was like, well, there goes one of my criticisms. But yeah, I think if you're a fan of musicals, if you're a fan of an urban setting, if you're wanting to, you know, experience more stuff in a different worldview, I think this is a good experience. If you like fun, it's a very fun musical. Like, the sad scenes aside and the moments of reality, there is a lot of partying, there is a lot of pump up the jam kind of thing. It's not a drab. So I think this is a worthwhile watch to anyone. If you have HBO Max and you live in America, or Brazil apparently, because Brazil has HBO Max before every other country, because why not? It's on HBO Max right now. If you're in a place that you can go see a movie in a movie theater and you're fully vaccinated, go do that. If you have a friend who has HBO Max and is willing to screen share with you on Discord, watch it that way. Just watch this movie. Give it love.
Yeah. And with that, thank you for your TED Talk. Saber, do you have...
I'm not allowed to talk about musicals on this show. I go too long.
Nah, 25 minutes out of a show that's like 1 hour to 1.5. That's fine.
I'm sorry.
But yes.
We also went on for a long time about fandoms.
We did. This was a collective effort. But yes, Saber, what have you brought for Show and Tell Your Media this week?
I mean, the most relevant thing I've been consistently keeping up on, and I mentioned it before, and funny enough, it's, I guess, kind of goes in tandem with what Chrissy was saying with Lin-Manuel, because I've been listening to this Hamilton audiobook, and I've been just enjoying the hell out of it. It gives so much background, where it's like, oh, here's Hamilton the musical, obviously abridged parts to it, which is amazing considering. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one. I highly recommend it. And it's funny because, like, Hamilton, the musical, is abridging things for a person whose life is already extraordinarily packed with all kinds of, like, accomplishments to, like, a genius level, where it's like, you got, like, 1/17 of this person's life is far more exciting than my own. And this guy also, like, kicked the bucket when in his early 40s, and I'm like, Jesus, he did a lot. He did a whole lot. But here I am, like, listening to, like today when I was running some errands, the writer for the book was talking about how Alexander and his wife Eliza would go to these parties in, like, Philadelphia, and there's reports of these parties being very, like, risque, and, like, some of these other ladies who are like, I can't believe that the women show their entire arm and their bosoms look like they're nursing mothers. And I'm like, whoa, scandalous. Like, it's insane. So lewd. I can see her entire arm. What
Oh my.
I'm just cracking up at this. Or how before that the writer was talking about when, like, Hamilton effectively launched the US stock market, and how the writer is, like, saying how there are farmers and merchants and sailors who were, like, abandoning their post, going to the stock market to gamble their money away, and that it shot up and then it crashed. And I'm like, it's motherfucking GameStop. I'm like, we've always been the same. Humans have always been the same. Whether it be, like, betting your money on what 1790 stock market exchange, or betting it all on AMC stock nowadays. And I just laugh. I'm like, man, we're just the same.
George Washington.
To the moon, Mr. President. So that's been my entertainment. I've been listening to it for the last few weeks, and I love it. I really do. To me, I'm very ADD, and I have to, like, it's hard for me to sit down and read books unless I'm really in the zone. So whenever I'm doing, like, mindless chores, like sweeping or dishes or laundry or running errands or whatever, I put that stuff on, and I'm like, okay, I can just listen while I'm doing other stuff. Versus when you have to get back home and I'm like, okay, time to concentrate on work. Because some folks are like, I can watch a movie or listen to an audiobook while I do, like, other work like writing, and I'm like, how do you do that? How can you do a task while also holding your attention to something else that you're trying to like
No
absorb?
chance.
That's insane to me. Can't do it.
I mean, I'm
Can't
the
do it.
type of person who can listen to 4 audios
I
at
was
once
about
and decipher
I was
what
about to
goes
say
through.
somebody's awfully quiet right now at this point.
I'm sorry that I have weird abilities when it comes to deciphering audio and speed reading.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
you better are sorry. You make people like me and Saber face our insecurities and talk openly
One
about
time,
it on a show on the internet.
One time, Max gave me a book that was in his
Oh,
bag
God.
to read while he was in the bathroom. Do you want to explain? Do you want to quickly explain it because you're fast?
Yeah, one. I intentionally have it in reach in the new flat. I haven't. This is the first time I actually can throw it. I talked about it, I believe, as my media on this show when I read it. It's so bad, and ever because it's from a New York bestseller. And ever since I was like, oh, this sounds nice. It's a post-apocalypse, magical apocalypse, magical post-apocalypse. That's a very rare genre if you think about it. That's usually nuclear, robots, zombies. No, but magic, like specifically, boom. Magic is now in the world, and it killed 90% of all people. But
yeah, we were at a bar
It's so
by a
bad.
movie theater.
yeah. But yeah, to
And
finish it up, ever since that book, whenever I see the phrase New York Times bestseller, I'm like, that's shit. That's not from a seal of approval. It turned to me as a warning sign, which is not nice because there are actually good people on the bestseller
What
list.
if me and Saber make a best-selling book?
Exactly, that's the
We
thing.
will.
If you would then have
We will.
yeah, but that's the thing. If you end up having printed on the book, like from the best-selling author Saberspark, from the New York Times best-selling author Saberspark, I would be like, New York Times best-selling is, but it's Saber. I trust him. I don't trust the fucking New York Times bestsellers. But sorry, Keyframe.
No, little do you know
anecdote.
that me and Saber, the first time we'll ever work together, it'll be like the John Lennon and Paul McCartney of something, and we'll just make something fantastic.
No.
No, I was just saying that we were at a bar outside of a movie theater one time. I forgot what we were seeing, and he was just going on about this book, and he gave me it, and he was like, why don't you read some while I'm in the bathroom? And he goes to the bathroom. He comes back. I had like, I forgot how many chapters I was through.
Probably
but
30
it was way
pages
too
or
many,
something.
and
You almost had caught up to my point.
Yeah, and he was he was like, I was in the bathroom for like 4 minutes. How did you get through all this? I was like, I just read it. He's like, oh, okay, then what happened? Then I started reading off plot points, and I could just see a look in his eyes of just, you know, like Nick Wilde when Judy's reading off the calculations of how much he owes in taxes. It's just like, holy shit, she actually read this.
Yep.
I'm with a monster.
For somebody who is a slow reader, like for average standard, somebody who is reading very slowly, being confronted with somebody who is an actual fast reader, that is depressing. That puts me in my place. But yeah,
I recall being a kid in like elementary school or middle school, and folks would be like we'd be given reading assignments in class, and you're like reading, and you see the other kids reading super fast, and I'm like, yes, I also read fast. Oh, done. Like, actually not reading it, just faking it, being like, yes, I too can read at extraordinarily quick paces. Oh, done. Just for that, the teacher would be like, okay, quiz time, and I'm like, fuck.
Wait, what?
But yeah, to observe it.
But yeah, to come back to the Hamilton audiobook. So, what I'm curious about it is how is it written? It's probably not written as a novel. Or is it written as a novel? I mean, I see that it is.
It's a biography.
Mm-hmm.
It's a biography. That's it. Just the writer, just being like, there's quotes, of course, because a lot of Hamilton stuff was very well documented because he wrote a lot, and it just presented from like, here's the start of his life. Here's the situation in America as far as it going through the revolution. Here's the struggles of Hamilton and what he was all about, what he desired, his strengths, his weaknesses, how he was an extraordinarily brilliant person. He's basically, you took him out of the equation and America probably would have failed. It would have. It's remarkable to find the individuals of history where if you erased them, it would have changed everything. And I think George Washington, is easily one of those folks. Hamilton is easily one of those folks. Abraham Lincoln, just as far as the American history goes. But like, yeah, it's one of those things where I remember in high school, I had a teacher who's like, please, we're gonna read about Hamilton and the Federalist Papers, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. But now I'm like, no, now I'm actively wanting to know more. This is fascinating to me, and just you see this as a man who was, again, brilliant, the genius. He also fucked up. He also had a soft spot for pretty girls, and it's amazing how he's like all fired up, talking like, screaming at Jefferson, being like, "You charlatan, you know what I'm talking about? Hey, pretty girl, don't worry." Like, girls would come to him being like, "Hamilton, bad things are happening to me." And he's like, "Oh, I will represent you in court pro bono. Like, don't worry about it. I got you." It's like, dude, you like the ladies.
He was like, you know what? I will clear my name that I didn't steal money from the government by explicitly talking about my affair and how I paid it out of my own pocket with my own money. And it's like, you know what? Honesty is your biggest virtue, and what will kill you?
Well, he had this really bizarre complex of his honor, where whenever anybody would attack his honor and talk shit about him, he took it seriously. And where other people like George is like, whatever, like, we'll do our talking on the battlefield, or I don't have time for this. Hamilton's like, what the fuck did you just say to me? I'll have you know, Navy SEAL copy pasta. But like yeah, I mean, the big thing to me is like, despite being a genius person who created so many institutions that made America what it is to this day, he also was a flawed person, as we all are, and almost destroyed his marriage, and then he lost his son, and then he lost his own life later on. And it's like, it's tragic, but also beautiful, and it really is like a bit of a capsule of like the human experience in a nutshell, to like an extraordinary extreme as far as like how much this guy did. I mean, like, he created the Coast Guard. He
the New York Post.
The New York Post
became what the New York Post is today, which no one likes.
Right. Makes me wonder about people like him, where it's like, if he was alive today, what would he be doing? Like,
he'd be slapping some people over the head, like,
oh, so hard. Yeah, but yeah.
What the?
To wrap it up, who would enjoy listening to it? Who wouldn't?
I mean, if you like history, if you're a history fan, I recommend it. It's like 36 hours long, so.
I mean, it's an entire life.
Right,
literally.
Right. History fans, and then folks who, I mean, if you want to listen to a person who has an extraordinary, oh my God, I keep screwing the word up. If somebody who had lived a really full, crazy, awesome life and contributed more to the world than you probably know, then give it a shot.
No. Yeah, sounds. Yeah, and I take it the presentation is not too dry. Because I had this one,
No.
I picked up an audiobook which was also more educational. I mean, biography is not necessarily educational. I was like, wow, this topic sounds super interesting. I want to listen to it. And it was super dry in the presentation. It was literally read by a professor. So I should have seen the warning signs. But yeah.
Oh shit, Sherlock. But now, Max, we went on our
Yes.
tirades, and now you're allowed to go on yours. Please tell us about Loop Hero.
The good news is I probably don't have so much to say about it, because it's a game that's better. Oh no, I cannot control the audio of it. That's the bad thing. Here I can control audio of it. So it is a game that is currently it's probably already off the super hype of it. It's called Loop Hero, which is a game where go back to the looping footage, where you actually literally have this little hero character who runs in a circle in this loop, and you're not controlling him. I mean, he has a loop, he has a singular path he's following. Even the fight of the monsters, you have no control over. He is just like, you see the little bar building up, like, and whenever the bar is full, he hits one monster. You cannot even control who he is hitting. Yet, you still have a huge amount of control over it, because you are literally building the world around him. It starts out with the path being completely empty and just a few slimes are spawning. And then let me see if I can actually, in this footage, see. So here, okay, here we have a little bit of gameplay. So you by killing monsters, you get those cards with which you can then build the world, and you play. And they have effects. They spawn different types of monsters, which in return spawn more and bigger and better stuff. And at the end of a loop, you basically have everything full, like inside and outside of the loop. Your hero is carrying the craziest gear, and you can go into different directions. Like, you can skill on vampirism, you can skill on just being a defense tank. But then again, you probably need to have a little bit of damage in there. And despite having so little control about the actual protagonist, you have it's still an amazing experience how you build this world and how you actually develop tactics the more you understand of how the game works. And which brings me back to the point where it's very hard to describe, and it's really more of a game because when I first heard about it, people being like, "Oh wow, it's a hit," and everybody was streaming it. Like, once again, I believe the big hype is already over. So hey, oopsie. If I happened to
time for you to stream it.
I know. I was tempted to stream yesterday, but the day passed very quickly, and then it was already like 9 p.m. and it was still super hot, and it was like, lazy evening. So maybe going into the direction, who would enjoy this game? It's, as I said, more on the tactical end. It's not really that RPG-esque as it would appear at first, because hey, you have a little hero. You can even play later on. You can unlock rogue and necromancer and other classes where you are like, it sounds all very RPG, but because you are building the world instead of actually controlling the hero, it's a very different approach to it, and which is fascinating. So it's kind of unique in its approach. I mean, there are probably individual elements that have been used in other games or borrowed from there, but I would say the overall concept is a pretty new approach, and it's very enjoyable. It's really engaging. I had this run where I was actually just doing a resource run, like playing it. After you advance the world too much, the boss spawns, and I was just trying to collect resources because you also build a village. That's the thing. The loop itself always resets back to basics, and you can start it with different landscape cards and whatnot. But you have this village where it's a little bit of a where you carry advancements from one playthrough to the next. And I just wanted to do a run for resources, and then I played so long that the boss spawned, and I haven't left the game yet, and I'm like, oh shit. I have all those resources. There's the fucking boss. Oh no. Okay. Maybe, but I have leveled so high. Maybe I can defeat him. So instead of fleeing before I enter the boss battle and being able to carry all my resources with me, because if I flee, then I lose like 70% of all my resources if I flee from a battle. So either I can keep all, or I try it, and I'm like, shit, I'm too good equipped and whatnot. I give it a try, and then I was battling him, and I was doing bad, and then I hit the point, like, I paused. You can also always pause, and I was like, oh no. I don't want to lose all this shit. But on the other hand,
my pride.
No, it's like I basically hit pause right before I'm dying, and I now had the option to flee or stay. And I'm like, if I stay, I will most definitely die within the next few seconds. I will lose 70% of my stuff anyways, and I had one artifact, a one-time thing that I could use to save all my stuff that I had got, to carry everything. And I'm like,
a captain goes down with its ship, though.
No, so I fled and I lost 70% of my shit. I know, right?
You are a coward.
I didn't
Where's
want to
the
die.
man I know who would stay in a stupid situation he's made?
I know what happened to him. What a scandal! But no, so
What happened? What happened to the guy that randomly popped up on my phone with this picture? Wonder if they could focus.
Oh yeah,
It's
that was a picture, all right. But yeah,
You
it's-
texted me this.
Yeah.
Very happy because I love this blog.
But yeah, who would I say should check it out? I mean, it's indie game, but it's a better indie game. So it's like at least on German Steam, it's $15. If
On American, it is also $15.
Ah. But yeah, if this kind of like, I mean, on the one hand, if you want to see how it plays, you will probably not have a hard time finding Let's Plays of it. If you want to kind of check it out from the outside, there's one way to approach it. If you have the $15 lying around and the general gameplay as I described it is something like, oh yeah, I like this world building aspect, this is like literal world building, this is a little bit of grindy approach. If this is the kind of game that clicks with you, then I would say it's probably worth it for sure. Yeah, then again, if any of it right now was like, not my type of game, then I dare to say it is a kind of game that is for certain types of players. It's probably not mainstream. But yeah, that was my my media.
Saber's got to pee faster.
Yeah. But yeah, I would wholeheartedly recommend it to anybody who is into this type of game in the first place.
I may give it a try. It looked interesting.
Yeah, and it's also like not too much story. It's really like I guess it gets pretty close to casual game on the one hand, because it's not you don't have an epic story. Whenever you reach a new point or build a new building, you have a little bit of a dialogue written thing going back and forth, and that's it. But for the majority of it, it's just like having him run through the loop, picking better armor, deciding where to build what, and hopefully defeating a boss or not. You will see. But yeah, besides that, it's actually the gameplay loop is pretty limited. So it's in a good way, as in it's surprisingly casual in being. Currently, my two games that I'm currently playing intense are Loop Hero and The Witcher. Witcher is basically when I do not do anything else and I really actually am immersed in the game. And here it's a game where despite immersion, I still can watch something or listen to something. So check it out. And I guess we can still use up time or to buy more time for Saber by talking about the art of the week that somebody has drawn. I don't know who drew it. I know, right? If you are not average, what do you call it? Average watcher of this show, no, and somebody who comes back and every now. In other words, it sounds similar to average, but a frequent. Let's go with frequent. A frequent viewer. You will probably remember this drawing. Recurring also fits. I could swear that there was a different word, but yeah, last week you already saw this image last week. That's what I'm pointing out, because that's the cover art for the Three Idiots. And probably, or not just the cover art, because it's also the in-stream art.
They're the neutral poses for us.
Yeah, and it's probably there to stay, since you wanted to build more upon the motions and everything.
Yeah, I am considering making an alternate to this where it's us in movie theater seats, since our next one's going to be a watch party. So, but these will definitely be the ones for when we're at a table. But yeah, Three Idiots. What is it? It's a show with three idiots. Yeah. That we do every second Saturday of the month.
But yeah, and drawn by Cosmic Keyframe, as it says in the little corner.
Drawn by me. Look at me.
Yeah.
Look at how I draw people. Oh man,
It
I
is-
drew Lauren and Max so good, and
But it's
then
like,
there's me.
but it's like the thing with also the giant ass hair pieces. I mean, I know that you actually always draw a lot of hair, but it never stuck out to me that much as here when I first noticed it on Lauren's. Like during the show
Lauren
when
has
you
a lot of hair when she draws her own.
yeah, but for some reason I realized how much hair there is, and then I started my view started shifting to the right, and I was like, wait, my hair is gigantic too, and then I moved over, and her hair is also like 3 times the size of the head.
It's the good 90s anime style where everyone had big hair.
That is actually true.
That's the best era. What's wrong with big hair?
What indeed. But
It's where all the personality comes from. Are you just mad that this can't be the amount of hair you have in real life?
but yeah, I guess enough stalling. Unless do we have other topics? Like in general.
E3. Wow, cool. Did you see that game?
No, I actually didn't. But no, actually talking about what I thought about earlier when you guys were talking about, hey, going back to the movies and whatnot. So this Wednesday, I finally get my second shot. So after Wednesday, yeah, and there have been some things that I have been pushing off because it was like, now I'm almost there, getting vaccinated and whatnot. So after that, I don't need to worry too much about getting tested before and whatnot. I can just go there to, for example, the hairstylist. And
the salon.
Yeah, the hair salon. And I just walk in there, still wearing a mask, obviously, because it's also a matter of what's it called? A matter of general appearance, because if everybody is if everybody who's fully vaccinated stops wearing masks, then all the people who are like will also just stop wearing their masks and claim to be vaccinated, and we can already see where this is going. Oh, thank you, Yuri. Yes.
Why is Yuri here for that moment and that moment alone?
And to call me old.
You're old, Yuri. You're the one with a kid.
But then again, he is still he already has 2 kids, and look at me. I'm actually the older one. But yeah.
Whatever. A kid adds 10 years emotionally, so he is the older one.
It's true. But yeah. But no. Then I can just walk into the hair salon and be like, vaccinated, give me that seat right there, and hopefully with less a house, wife, a car. Yeah. You have it all. I have a computer. And oh yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah, but God, let's not talk about Father's Day.
Yeah.
Please.
Also. Yeah, Saber might take a moment longer because of...
Yeah, they're taking Lammy out, which, you know what, let's talk about dogs. You know, if Lammy's out, let's talk about dogs. We have welcome to the dog section of podcast where we talk about dogs. Okay, I mean, you're going to be able to see dogs this week.
That's true, also on Wednesday.
By your family.
Yeah, because I do the
never mind.
Yeah, because I do the rational thing and drive across the entire nation to get my vaccine shot. Also, that was the thing when I got my first vaccine shot. Basically, after I came back, like from this across the nation trip, it was like, hey, hello employees, we offer vaccination in the office. We got doctors who vaccinate in the office. And I'm like, well, cool, 1 week too late. Thanks for nothing.
Captain goes down with his ship.
No, but
welcome back, Saber. We were starting to talk about dogs because of Lammy.
But yeah, I guess we now should.
You missed it. I was about to tell a rousing story about my past doggos.
Oh, all doggos, good doggos.
Yeah.
All doggos are good doggos, especially my dog Butch. He was my dog back in Long Island. Big old mutt. We would call him Crypto because he was a super dog. He was a
Aw.
dog loved by the. Actually, this works with the In the Heights thing with the Mr. Softy truck. For people who don't know, Mr. Softy's an actual ice cream truck. It's an ice cream truck chain in New York City. Like, I used to get them. That's an accurate thing. And my dog was such a gentle boy that he would walk out when the Softy truck came, stood in line with the kids, and then he would get a vanilla ice cream cone, gently hold in his mouth, go back across the street to our house, and eat it when he got into the backyard. He was that good of a boy.
Good puppy boy.
I
I love
love that
mutts.
boy.
Mutts are great.
He lived to be like 14, 15, which is good for a big dog. He was a big dog. Like,
That's the really long
Labs-
life for a big dog.
But yeah, Q&A. I guess.
question time, the Q&A.
Exactly. I guess we can.
No one asked me a question. No video games. No video games.
What?
I thought someone would ask usually someone asks a question around a current event, so I thought people were going to ask a question about E3. Like, what game were you guys most excited to see at E3?
I haven't watched anything from E3, so I wouldn't know. But what I
know, but I would have loved to see you bullshit your way through it.
Oh yeah, that's true. But that's what we have 3
I mean,
idiots for nowadays.
My obvious answer would have been Super Monkey Ball, and the fact we're finally getting a mainline Metroid game for the first time in 19 years.
Yeah. But yeah, given that we have actually gotten a lot of questions,
lightning round! Let's go. We need a graphic for lightning round.
Yeah, definitely.
Like a really shitty one.
Or a timer that I can then fade in and we see how long we actually need per question in the lightning round. I believe whenever we call lightning round, it takes actually even longer. But yeah, let's start out with good old J-Rock and his traditional "Would you rather" on Twitter. Would you rather battle a troll from Norse mythology or a basilisk from the Harry Potter series? Saber, why don't you go first?
Look up a picture of the basilisk from the Harry Potter series. I can't remember what that looks like.
It's basically
look up a picture of the Harry Potter?
Basically a giant ass snake.
What's the conditions of the battle? Do we have any weapons?
Do we have weapons? Is it hand to hand?
Isn't it like Norse trolls are like susceptible to UV? So I guess try to use that if I could. Be in the daylight.
Let's see. So here we have the Harry Potter basilisk. Basilisk. What do you pronounce it again in English? Basilisk. Exactly. Like big snake. Okay, maybe we can get something where it's not that frontal view, but where you see a little bit more of them. Is this actually from the movie? Oh boy, this is actually from the movie. What do you know? Look, big snaky boy, like in comparison to a human even.
And a troll from Norse mythology.
Yes, let's see.
Looking things.
Troll, Norse. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, those are Norse mythology trolls.
I looked up Norse troll and that's what happened.
Okay, so that's... Whoa!
I would fight the Norse ones. Look at those things. Those things look like they're gonna sing Fraggle Rock to me.
Right.
Don't say.
Disney Epcot used to have like this section of like the World Showcase for Norway, which had trolls like this in it. And they also had a ride that was transformed into a Frozen ride. And like it's kind of a bummer because like I have nothing against Frozen. I think the Frozen ride's pretty amazing. But like in a way, Frozen has pushed out this brand of like Norwegian culture where like the trolls have been now regulated to like the gift shops where you might see some of the leftover like props and designs. But it's like, oh, they're gone. Like the big nose, like those kinds of looking trolls are now like, you know, make way for Frozen, makes more money.
Okay, I mean, this maybe this image gets us a little bit more of a reason to fight it.
I guess, but still, I'm going with the original image, which I guess would make me want to fight the snake more simply because...
You don't want to fight those guys.
Beat up these guys. They look friendly. They look like they're going to, like, make me a nice little dinner and then sing me a song around the fire. These got some where the wild things are energy. I don't want to fight that. Fine, I'll fight the snake.
Yeah, the ride was called Maelstrom, by the way. At
Yeah.
Epcot. It's
Oh, I
interesting.
love Maelstrom. Oh, I miss that ride. I miss Disney. I miss going outside.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, right.
Whoop.
I'm right there with you.
But yeah. Anyways, I guess I'll fight the snake simply because Norse trolls look too nice.
The
What about you,
East-
Saber? Which
yeah.
one are you fighting?
if I'm fighting to win, I'm fighting the troll, I guess.
But which
I'm afraid of the
Oh,
snake.
okay.
this version or this version?
Oh, let me see what this other one you have. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty outmatched no matter what. I'm not a warrior.
Yeah.
If I can use, if I had like, I mean, being able to use daylight, I feel like it's pretty big advantage. But like, if I had to fight one, I guess I'd rather fight the troll. No, but Harry Potter beat the Basilisk with a sword, and he's a kid, so
that's actually a
maybe I
good
can-
point. And then he
but
had
he
a-
also he's got plot armor too. so
Yeah,
it
and,
keeps it
and he had a
fluctuate.
he had a phoenix come in, stab out the eyes of the basilisk because the basilisk was able to in Harry Potter canonically he was theoretically able to make you petrify you with its glare.
They had Medusa powers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
then
still the thing.
yeah.
Who are you fighting?
So who I'm fighting?
Yeah.
Actually, remembering all the shit, I was about to agree with Saber that you're a little boy, a little high school boy. Like this is the second book. What was he? 12 years old. Like this little nerd could defeat it, but yeah, plot armor, support by another magical creature, which took one of the best. Of the strongest abilities of the snake away, because yeah, without the eyes, it's just a giant ass snake. And the snake would have, the basilisk would actually have fucking won because it got a bite in, and Harry was actually poisoned. If once again Fox wouldn't have come in to save his ass. So yeah, I guess I go for the giant monster, which might have been hard to kill, but at least it's not that overpowered that I have a realistic chance if I just stay out of reach or whatever. So yeah, I go with the troll.
Good answer. All right. So you and Saber can dual fight the troll, and I'm gonna fight the snake.
Simply because you don't want to hurt the poor little trolley boy.
Exactly.
snake.
You guys can be the monsters.
Yeah.
But lightning round from Wait, That's Not Your Hand asks, this question is for Saber specifically because Key and Max wouldn't know anything about this.
But we'll see about that.
How do I tell my friends and loved ones that I'm a furry?
There it is.
Do I just get it all out there at once, or do I ease them into it?
Yeah, I have no idea whatsoever about it, I guess.
Yeah, we
Exile.
wouldn't
That's
know.
the only reasonable option. Is total exile. You gotta leave. You gotta go. Sorry,
Put yourself on
you're
a
not
boat
winning.
and just
You're now a vagabond, and you have to hop in a boat and sail from port to port begging for fish. That's the only you picked that lifestyle. All right. Sorry.
I mean,
Furry.
me and Max are at ports right now. The little do you know,
Yeah.
this is just a set we bring with us on our boats.
Yeah,
Right. This is you in like your ship. This is like the down below
Yeah,
area.
it's like Terraria where there's like different little buildings. Like this is just mine.
Guys, when I told you that I was moving into this new place, which only has one poster, the reason is this is the entire place. I'm sitting in a tiny room. I couldn't even take all my belongings. This poster was literally the only I could take with me because I'm now living in hiding out in the woods with surprisingly good internet. Because I'm a furry and that's how it is here in Germany.
He has to disguise himself to get the vaccine. He has to put on like
Yeah.
like some Groucho Marx and a shirt that says "I'm not a furry, don't ask."
Exactly. The best disguise.
I need that shirt. I need a shirt that says "I'm not a furry, please don't ask. I'm not."
Perfect disguise. But yeah, back to Discord.
okay,
No, wait,
there's
this
your
question
answer.
was from Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, the next one's on Twitter.
The next one is on Twitter. So we have a sneaky Enigma Prince who is on both ends, but he has a good question. So,
Okay.
since Pride Month and since it is Pride Month and you three all share in the space of media and animation, who is your favorite LGBT plus person and or couple or ship in any media or cartoon or even book?
I feel like this is formatted when a waitress is like, "Do you want soup or salad or French fries?"
But yeah, basically, LGBTQ plus favorite fictional thing out there.
I don't want to like. I don't want to say just a ship because I personally think like a person's being in the LGBT community is not just who you fuck, you know? Like it's the enjoying the person. A couple is part of it. It's not
Fair.
the whole thing, you know.
Lead by example.
Rectangles can be squares, but squares can't be rectangles. Kind of thing.
Lead by example. Set the bar so high that my answer will probably be a pathetic embarrassment, as always.
I mean, I guess my favorite character, which I guess could be a ship. My favorite LGBT character is Garnet from Steven Universe. I think that one. I think she is a great representation of not just a well-made character, but the trials and tribulations that Ruby and Sapphire have to go through. It shows a very healthy, long-standing couple, especially when you get into the later seasons when they find out Rose was Pink Diamond and they have to recontextualize their relationship of that they love each other.
Oh no! Spoilers, I guess.
It's been how many years?
Plus a movie, plus a follow-up show.
Exactly, but I'm saying, like, I think they are a good showing of a healthy couple dynamic and showing, you know, you can fight, you can have disagreements, but, you know, they are a great relationship, and Garnet is a great couple that shows the best of both sides, and her as herself. So I guess that's she's also like a black-coded LGBT character. So there you go. That's mine.
So it's you're right as far as like the waitress walking up being like, "What do you want to eat?" And you're like, "I don't know." I need to think on this one, but like off the top of my head,
I can also buy. Okay.
No, go for it.
Oh, I just want to say I can probably buy you time by answering because I ramble. But if you already have one, then I will not. I don't want to cut you off.
He said he needs to think about it.
But he was all he said this, but then he already started answering, so I'm not sure where he is at. Let's continue to talk about him like he's not here.
He said go for it.
Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, my I'm already I'm also having a hard time to narrow it down to only one because I'm fucking trash in that regard. I'm loving this. I'm not sure. Has it become so thanks to the pony fandom and a lot of stuff like Octavia Vinyl Scratch, who are just so phenomenal opposites that they just always in many different
thing forever. Opposites attract is a trope that's been around forever.
I know, but they are just so beautiful and opposite on any level that I have barely seen any iteration of them, no matter how they got interpreted as individual characters, where it didn't end up working as a ship. But I'm not sure if I was eating up that gay shit before then already or not. But yeah.
Oh, Benson from Kipo's good. I love Benson.
Oh yeah, very very and they didn't go too much into making it all about his romances. It was just like, no, I'm gay.
But he was the first cartoon character to just say, "I'm gay."
Yeah, out there. But no, what I would say is, since it just ended, Critical Role's second campaign, that was one representation fest. I mean, probably by barely any of the actors, but they had like, let's see, at least 2 lesbians on the show, 1 bi guy, 1 ace guy, whatever Molly was. Molly probably pan. He was like all over. Yeah, but in general, a very welcoming media as a whole. And then, but yeah, on my personal favorite is always the thing for me that it always keeps shifting on. I mean, I would probably like Liedestern would have said Kadora a while ago. Nowadays. Oh yeah, I know you had your problems with it, but no.
At least it got better in the end.
It did.
But...
It did very much. But no, currently, maybe not even as a chip, but more the character actually. Amity from.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Loose and Amity
yeah.
from
No, that's the thing.
Owl
Not
House.
not even necessarily lose an Amity, just Amity being this
I'm saying
absolute.
who Amity is attracted
Yeah,
to.
but this absolute disaster lesbian. I mean, it doesn't even seem to be a. I mean, so far it hasn't been addressed in the show, so it doesn't seem to be a big issue to be addressed. So the gayness of it, it more seems to be about her just the human. Oh no, I'm attracted to the human. Yeah. So yeah. Maybe they may. I would personally love if they don't make a big deal about the gayness of it.
What does it say that most of the couples we bring up are lesbian couples, or like a lot of the characters brought up, with the exception of some of the Critical Role characters, are there not a lot of men loving men couples
There's not.
in media?
I've talked to Pelly about this. I think, and I know this is like new territory, because like what, it was only like 6 years ago that America actually like legalized on a federal level gay marriage. So there's a lot of ground to make up. I mean, I'm a mostly straight guy, and I'm a white guy too. So I know that history has been served up on a silver platter for me for quite a few centuries. And as an outsider observer, it's like, okay, I think it's easier to present this stuff for girls, because I think some guys are like, oh, two guys kissing, two girls, okay. I know it sounds weird.
It goes into what's been fetishized in the media over the because let's remember Madonna kissing Britney Spears kind of thing. Like, lesbianism has always been fetishized. And meanwhile, gay men have been treated like, I mean, there were those fucking ads saying that a gay person could come for your kids. It's like,
and that's and then as a result of that, when it's about a gay man, it usually is not in this like casual, cutesy or sexy way. It's more like Love, Simon, where it's a drama, a story about a dramatic story about somebody having to fight for it and going through all the hardship of it.
The chat's bringing up some good ones, but you notice that these are all dads, so these are people who have already gone through their trials and tribulations.
That's also a thing that I was about to say. Like, dads apparently are A-okay as gay. Like, you don't have gay male protagonists, but those are all girls apparently. But you have gay dads left and right. Yes, Willow's dad, the dads of in She-Ra of Bo's dads.
Oh yeah, Bo's dads and Cloud's
Dream Daddy, an entire video game about gay dads.
By the way, so
so go ahead, Saber. Sorry, you didn't even get to say your answers.
I'm sure I'm forgetting some good ones, but like Bubblegum and Marceline are just extraordinary. I love them. Their story's amazing. And
Absolutely.
It's probably one of the healthiest, most well-told, like, gay relationships ever written. I mean, like, where folks like feel like it's pandering, which absolutely happens because corporations are heartless and they don't give a fuck. They just want your money, so they'll pander to you. But like for Marceline and Bubblegum, that's been in the works for a long time, and was very rewarding, and never for a second felt like it was trying to pander to an audience. It's like, no, they love each other. This is a very well told story that's firmly, it has its feet planted with what it wants to say and where it wants to go. And other ones like, I mean, Mr. Simmons from Hey Arnold, when they said like, oh yeah, he was gay, I'm like, oh yeah, of course he is. Like he's kind of like, because I know that like there is that trope of like the hi, I'm gay, huh? And like for a long time folks are like, lol, laugh at the gay person. It's Big Gay Al from South Park. Though to their credit, they also kind of brought that in, where it's like, yeah, he's flamboyantly gay, but that doesn't mean you can't. It's weird. It's like saying like it started off with being flamboyantly gay, and then people ask themselves, is that offensive? And it's like, well, it depends if it's trying to be offensive or not, because now Big Gay Al is married to Mr. Slave, and they're two gay people just living on their best life. And yeah, they're both introduced to be laughed at.
Is it the thing of it's trying to be something that's inflammatory to that group of people, or is it them displaying pride? Because
Right.
it's a balancing act to have. Because you can be proud that you are who you are, and if that is being flamboyant, then so be it. It's just how you do it, you know.
Well, when I was in college, like I remember, like I have friends who are gay, and they're not flamboyant. They're just gay. They're just like, I like guys, or I like girls, or I like both. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, there's nothing more to it than just being like, word, I support you. Like, you're just living your life. And like you mentioned, Kipo, that was like one of the first real times where it's like it felt so normalized. Like, it's not a big like showstopper. It's not like we have to make this a like a groundbreaking. It's like, no, he's like skies. Fuck you. Let's move on. Like, and I'm like, oh, word. That's the way it should be. We should be going forward with this. And you know, versus Disney, where they're like the first gay character, and it's like, oh my god, it's so easily edited out, you cowards, fucking cowards.
Yeah, I mean, what was it here with Disney and Gravity Falls, the two cops that were basically ambiguous all the way?
Oh, I love those two.
Yeah. And they were also supposed to, the love god in one episode of Gravity Falls was supposed to have two girls married, but they cut that scene.
And his symbol was supposed to be.
Shout out to Todd from BoJack, because we don't forget asexual people are part of that rainbow. So you're there too.
There's also like, I'm not sure if it's too much of a spoiler. Spoilers for I feel like me saying it implies whatever.
I guess
Ivy and Harley Quinn in the Harley Quinn series.
It's teased very from the first minute, so
yeah, you know, there's so many examples that we can go on, which is a step in the right direction.
Which is probably why he asked for our favorites, but hey, I would still say good talk.
Yeah, but there you go. But Todd also is one of my favorites, but I was thinking of such like specifically gay, lesbian, and not the other letters, which is poo-poo on me. Shame me for that, but yeah. But yeah, lightning round, because man, we took a lot of time with that one. Let's see. Ferret Tracker says, you can bring one actor back from the dead to do one project. Who would you resurrect, and what role would you have them play? You get to play God for such a petty thing as making something.
Right.
What would it be?
Right.
So,
This is tough.
This is quite the question you did, Noisy. So
this lightning round's got some very thought-provoking questions.
Oh wait, I actually read this earlier and I have an answer, believe it or not.
Go ahead.
Wait, making sure that I actually wrong. Yeah, I would. Oh damn it! Now I have two answers. No, brain, stop working. Okay, I stick with
the first one.
Exactly, I stick with my first answer. No, okay, my first answer would have been Alan Rickman. And just let him.
The same.
Yeah, let him play the kind of asshole roles that he was great for, like the Die Hard, Hans Gruber, or the sheriff of Nottingham. Oh, why a spoon, cousin? Because it is dull and hurts more, you twat. This is like, god damn it, I love Alan Rickman. Loved. He always solid performance all the way through. Second answer, I know I'm cheating. Heath Ledger, because he was just starting with his darker shit. Sadly, he took it too far too quickly, and he couldn't keep up with IRL. But the fucking Joker, Jesus.
Yeah, that could have been an era, which like not to sound selfish, because obviously like him and his own personal life and what he went through is much more important. But like, dude, like that could have been a thing. It really could have.
But yeah, that was my answer, my two answers, which apparently one of them stole already Saber's answer.
No, I mean, I was thinking
there are enough dead actors out there. Come on.
I couldn't think of a role for Alan though, and I'm struggling because I want to bring back Christopher Lee, but like I feel like Christopher, I can't think of any role that like that guy lived his fullest life, like to like no one else, and I can't think of a role currently where I'd be like, yeah, put him in that. I mean, this guy was Dracula. He was Count Dooku. He was Saruman. He did a lot. He was like in a lot of animated roles too. So, I mean, I know this one might be a bit too recent, but Chadwick was also another person who could have continued on.
Gone too soon.
I'm struggling with this question as well, but like, it's because I can't really think of like, wow, that's a movie or a show that needs to be made, and this is the perfect person for it. These are good questions. I need to think on them.
Here's the thing. I would have brought back Alan Rickman simply because he would be the only one that I would need. And I could get all the people from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves to read the script to Men in Tights. So that way we can get the actual cast of Prince of Thieves, arguably one of the more serious Robin Hood movies, to read the funniest Robin Hood movie. That would be amazing. My dream is to one day see the actors of an actual movie read out their parody. I want that. I want that so bad. But God, to not make it 3 Alan Rickmans. God.
Come on, think back to 2016, which was the year where in the first few months, like everyone died.
I guess I would, honestly, maybe I would bring back Casey Kasem, and I would do some kind of special that involves all the different actors who have played Shaggy over the years, because he's the only one who's died. So it would be kind of like a passing the torch thing, because I don't think, like, Matthew Lillard and Casey only shared one show together where Casey played Shaggy's dad, but there was never a resolution because Casey died during the production of that show. So I would like to see maybe like a Cyber Chase-esque thing where past Shaggy and new Shaggy meet each other, because I feel like that would just be poetic. So I would do that. That would be cool.
Oh.
Also, I would warn Casey, your wife is fucking crazy and your kids are not going to be able to find your body. So...
I got one.
Don't look up that story.
Yes.
So, Mako, he was the voice of Uncle Iroh and also the voice of Aku, and it would have been really nice. I mean, like the guy Greg Baldwin who stepped in as like actually was like an understudy and like was trained under Mako, did a fine job, a really good job considering the circumstances, to stand in for like the last season of Avatar and also for the last season of Samurai Jack. Yeah. Right, but part of me is like, man, it would have been really nice to have Mako just going full force with his very unique personality and delivery. I mean, that guy owned it, absolutely owned it with both respective roles, and it's like they're like the one thing. Well, I mean, I have more issues with Samurai Jack finale conclusion. Avatar
just
though,
like
it's like
video game, it fixes everything.
I need to play the game. I've heard good things about it.
But yeah, let's do the last Twitter question. Yes. Then I think we can do the FMK, because God, we went. You people asked
We had a bunch of good questions. Yes. But yeah.
Brent. I'm gonna beat you up. I'm saying I blame Saber and I'm gonna beat him up.
Oh yeah, rightfully so. He had it coming. But yeah, Brandon Croker asks, fall. Do you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain? I kid. Real question is, what's your favorite point in history that you wish you could go back to? Here's the thing.
Oh, a time travel question.
Here's the thing. I mean, I'm not sure. We had this kind of question before, so maybe Saber could answer that part, and we could answer the pina colada part, Key.
Sure. Saber, what time period would you love to time travel back to, Time Squad style?
Full stop. I mean, it like if you mean like just to visit, sure. If you mean to live in, none of them. Because here's the hard truth: is like history, everything for the most part, by a large margin, it sucks. Like whether it be disease, war, injustice, especially if you're not a white guy, like good luck. Like it's gonna be a nightmare.
The thing is that if you lived in one of these time periods, either some kind of disease back then is gonna kill you, or you're gonna kill everyone else because you have disease that don't exist yet.
Oh no! You travel back and accidentally introduce Rona in the 1800s or something. But then again, we won't be immune.
Right. The by the way, like I watched this video recently. It was like a video about like the white girl Twitter accounts and how they had like an era during like the mid 2010s and then Twitter like just obliterated them. And I was like, good, like get rid of them. But like one of them was because people realized that the majority of these were bots being run by older white guys pretending to be girls. So it's like, oof, let's get out of here. And one of them was like black girl things or tweets or whatever. And they made a tweet where it's like, to be in the 1940s, I miss it. And folks were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like a black woman in the 1940s, it was a nightmare. And they're like, wait a second, are you black? Like, are you the person posting this?
Pulls off the mask. It was a white girl all along.
No, it was an older white guy. It was like 30-something-year-old. Yeah, they were all debunked for the most part, being like these bizarre like people controlling it, trying to also like do this Illuminati like controlling of content and memes on the internet. It's nuts. But I guess I would like to go back to see three points in particular. I want to see dinosaurs, just so I can be like, whoa, there they were. I want to see, I know it sounds bizarre, the crucifixion of Jesus, to see if it actually went down the way it did. I want to be like, what happened? Because there's a lot of stuff about this. I want to see how it checks out. And then also I want to see like a medieval battle or a Roman battle or something. Because I hear these stories of how these armies fight, and I'm like, I want to see them actually. And it sounds grim, but I'm like, how could people actually fight like this? It sounds like a nightmare to stab somebody, be on the front lines. I want to go and see if it actually goes down the way historians think it goes down, and verify that. Because like people actually, armies like clashing and stabbing. I'm like that. I'd be like, I'm out. I'm back of the line. I don't want to be near this. I can't control my self-preservation and also be in the front lines. It's crazy to me.
See, you are thinking way too big. This is one of those questions where it's great to think small. I would just go back in time and steal other YouTubers' ideas.
Oh, I mean, if you wanted to cash in on that.
I would go Highlander and be like, I would steal the idea for Yai.
I just wanted to say Yai comes to mind.
I would be the Yai guy. I would be the Yai guy. I would be the one to adopt a weird greyhound dog and become the queen of YouTube, and then leave after 10 years because I'd be too tired with people.
But that's the thing. She probably had to build up to that point. She already built an audience before.
She started with skits, but with Yai, I would become the Yai
but
guy.
You probably,
or you can go back in time.
But you can't go back too far, because I don't think if you would try Yai in the, I don't know, mid 2010. How long has he? When did he start Yai? Because I would say started maybe a year or so before he did. And the thing is, Yai needs an audience. 6 years ago. So maybe go back 8 years or something, because I believe YouTube was already had the necessary dynamic to do this, to pull this off. But yeah, if you go back I don't know, 12 years or something, YouTube is that old, right? That wouldn't work.
YouTube was made in 2006.
Yeah.
So, or was to the public in 2006. Yeah. Started in 2005.
Or
you could go back in time to like when Google IPO'd or Apple or any of those, and just take as much money as you can back then, stocks, and just buy it. And then when you get back to your time,
there was a Family Matters episode like that where Carl Winslow went back in time and invested in Disney, like, but.
Smart.
But
no,
yeah.
I would go even higher. I would marry the guy who owns Google.
Oi, we are not yet at the FMK.
Yeah, sorry.
Keep your gold digging marriages.
Do I like pina coladas and what's the second part in the rain? Getting caught in the rain.
And getting caught in the rain.
I've never had a pina colada before, but I like sex on the beaches. Those are good. They're all fruity. I'm fine with it. And depends. I like summer rain because it's still warm, but at the end of the day, I still have to dry my clothes. But right now, where it's 104 degrees outside, I would welcome rain.
But yeah, now I'm told I really don't have an interesting time period to go to. Maybe back to the 90s. Very. No.
What if somehow you went back in the 90s and you became like a TV, like by some weird 90s coincidence, you became a TV star or something, and then we are like, wait, what?
No, but yeah, the thing is like with sometimes I'm like, would I just be a little bit older, a little bit younger? But now I'm like they're struggling at the millennial, at the upper end of millennial, where I grew kind of up with internet stuff, but still not the internet stuff as it is today. So the ones later millennials or whatever came after, the Gen Zs, who are true natives to all the internet stuff and the technology, they still operate on a different level than I could. So either go back to the I would just go back to the 90s and hide in this pre-internet hype area, just being like, yeah.
So before you knew people?
I don't know. Then it's just like,
see, that's what I would never go back to before internet, simply because the people who are close to me in my life that I love dearly would not have been possible to know or keep in contact with if it wasn't for the internet.
Very true, but in the 90s I had friends locally. I could actually go to them with a bus. Because I could not spread, because friendships didn't spread over the internet.
You wouldn't have met me if it wasn't for the internet. You wouldn't have met Saber.
Why would I want to meet you in the 90s? Have you even been born then? You would be a toddler. Why would I want to meet a toddler?
No, that's a great point. That's a great point. I forget about the 90s.
Anyway.
Look, I'm talking about if you of yourself know of everything that has happened thus far and everything, and you go back in time and you stay back in that time, you know everything and everyone you're sacrificing by living in this little pre-hub of internet time.
Anyways, I don't like Piña Colada because my weird relationship with coconut flavor is that in cocktails I do not like it.
There's coconut in it? Ew.
Yeah, Piña Colada is coconut. That's
Gross.
the thing. In cocktail, there are a few circumstances where I like the flavor of coconut. Asian food is up on the list. I love it in Asian food, actually.
Yeah.
But
curry is
in
great.
cocktails, no. Coconut is a no-go for me.
You gotta heat it up.
Yes.
You gotta heat it up. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But I don't want your cold coconut juice. But
yeah.
Okay, we are going way too long.
Okay.
What about the rain? What about the rain?
Yeah, I actually love getting caught in the rain. Summer rain is definitely the best. Loving it. But when it comes to there was this one time where I was caught in the rain, like coming out of the subway, like cats and dogs, like a wall of rain, and it was like, shit, we need to get to the mall, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. We didn't bring umbrellas, so run for it. So we ran.
I crossed the line at rain that's so bad that I know for a fact I'm going to catch a cold.
For point of reference for anybody who knows Berlin, Alexanderplatz subway, Alexa the mall, which is literally just getting across the street. Running out of the subway into the mall, hopefully not waiting at the crosswalk, wet to the underwear. But we didn't want to go to just there. We wanted to get to the Asia store, which is on the side of the mall. So we go a few steps through the mall to with squeaky shoes and everything. Go to the side door, open it, and the rain had stopped. In the 30 seconds we were in the mall, the rain just stopped.
But I mean, I can't hate that.
The experience, but yeah, the experience was like, I love this story. It was a phenomenal experience. So yeah, even this horrible one, I love it. I love getting caught in the rain. At the very least, it makes a great story.
There's a story behind it, yes. But if you're, example, one time I got caught in the rain. I was at school, and I had to walk all the way back home. And of course, this was after band practice, and I played bass clarinet. Do you know how fucking big a bass clarinet case is? It's almost as tall as I am if I stood it up. I'm 5'6". It was up to my shoulders. So I have to carry that, and it's pouring sheets of rain, and I get home. That's not a fun story. But when you have something around that where you actually, for one, have someone to laugh about it with and everything, that's fun. I like funny rain. There we go. But here's the last question, because that's all the patience I have right now. Summertime Lovin' Boy asks,
Oh my.
The Wild, 3 ellipses. Where teeming life and savagery reign supreme, and as we all know, 3 ellipses. There's only one top mammal in these parts that reigns supreme as the true royal leader, 3 ellipses. The lion. So let's tap into our inner beast for this daring chase of fuck, marry, kill, lions and their lusty loins. Adult Simba from Lion King and Lion King 1.5 and 2. Leo from Leo the Lion.
Oh, God.
And adult Joshua from Joshua and the Promised Lands. Yes, he still retains his time travel into biblical time abilities. I'm sure your pride won't be on the line based on your answers, and also a female lion, if not satisfied from sex, will bite the male's balls in frustrations, really making them ball busters. The more you know.
I have the feeling that this is probably
You're fucking a lion either way. I don't care. The sex of it doesn't really help no matter what you're doing.
I have the feeling that this is specifically a Saber question referencing
Well, yeah,
a lot of...
Joshua and the Promised Land I know that isn't the Leo one the no.
So
no!
here we have Joshua. Here we have Joshua.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
And here we have
this
Leo the lion. I'm not entirely sure if it's a cup or if it's a king. It's,
Nope.
It's a cup. It's a king. It's a king.
There were Leo the Lion Netflix. Type that in.
Oh, Leo the Lion Netflix. Okay, Leo the Lion.
Or
Netflix.
hold on, let me find it.
Why couldn't we have gotten that arc movie or whatever
This one.
that you did? With the
Oh,
sexy
oh
lion?
look, oh look,
this
oh
ugly
what do
bastard.
we have here? This thumbnail font. This looks kind of familiar. I'm not sure. What might that be? Let me use that as a completely neutral representative. Oh, and while we are at it.
Yep. It only gets worse and worse.
You know what? We can't just screw those pictures I had before. Let's just go with
Okay,
those 2
so
pictures.
Me and Max will have to judge 2 of these off of pure aesthetic,
Yes,
but
and I guess I
the
don't have to
aesthetic-
show the Disney one.
Saber, you get to go first because you're our
Yes.
special boy.
So
Fuck, marry,
I mean,
kill. Simba, that guy, and that guy.
I'd marry Simba. He'd take good care of me.
Oh, he
Just take good care of me. He's a sweet boy. He's gonna raise me to be his queen. And then I kill Joshua because he's just annoying, stupid, hate him. He's a dummy. And then I guess I fuck.
Because his parents are fighting or something.
It's weird because technically, I mean, if we're getting specific, because he's a kid who possesses the body of a random Israelite, and then spends the next 40 to 50 years
So
in
he's a
this
literal
world.
man-child.
Right. Despite spending, like, because if we're going off of Bible lore, the Jews wandered the desert for 40 years before going to Israel and establishing it. That means Joshua is like in his 50s or 60s when he comes back.
For example,
Yeah.
I think this is what Joshua looks like normally.
Back, that means Joshua, he's got his dumb little kid voice, like in his 50s. I mean, yeah, I'd kill Joshua, and I guess I'd fuck Leo. It's not gonna be fun, but I guess someone's got to do it.
He looks so sad. He needs a nut. Like, I think you're providing him charity in that case. You can write it off on your taxes.
Okay, so
One tiger fucking. No, one lion fucking.
so who gets the privilege of going next, and who has
Sadly, you went last week, so this is my turn.
at
to
least
go
a little bit
last.
of safety. Okay.
Our wonderful compromise in this season.
Oh no! Wait, no! No matter what, it will work out in my favor, I guess. So, because I gotta kill this abomination of nature. Just look at it. It's a mercy killing. Then
Didn't Saber kill Josh?
Wait.
Josh too.
Oh shit! No, I cannot
Yeah.
kill him then. Oh no.
Yeah, wait, remember our own self-established
Oh
rules? You can't
no! Oh no! So I I guess
You get to either fuck him or marry him.
I do, but I don't want to kill Simba, so I want to get at least a little bit of Simba in my life. So I guess I kill that guy, because
Why?
I mean, why? I mean, going by the fact that his mane hasn't grown in completely, and he just seems like not really the kind of lion who really gets to
You're gonna criticize someone for their mane not growing in completely?
No, it's like with a lion. This is kind of, I believe, symbolism for something. Like not symbolism, like an actual indicator of their fitness and
Their place in the
whatnot.
pack.
Yeah, and I mean, this guy looks like, he wouldn't make it out in the savannah, and keeping him from starving or whatnot. It's like I'm just trying to shorten his suffering. Unlike this spanking fellow, that is marriage material. I tell you, that is like that's a keeper. That's a keeper. I tell you.
Steven, it's you.
It's me.
That
me.
is you. That is you.
My
Soul Caliber.
cut face. I'm strong.
So this is now our stand-in for Simba, since we didn't have one before. Why am I zoomed in so much? But yeah, this guy, marriage material. I mean, he has magical powers. It's like we talked earlier about traveling to different times and places. I'm pretty sure that we can use that and do travel back to the 90s, I guess. That's like, and we live out our married life in the 90s, and yeah,
You can go
Simba.
back to biblical times and make them do not bad things.
But yeah, and or that, and this Simba fellow, he over here. Well, I want to fuck him. Just look at him. I want to fuck this guy. Like,
Oh, man.
Nah. Keyframe.
Just really want to. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't want to go into details like you usually do with your fucking compatriots about the.
I mean, this guy is already dead. This guy, I don't even want to know how he looks down there. And Simba is an actual anatomical being. So.
I mean, switch to the picture of Simba we have. Obviously, you gotta let me know.
But yeah, Keyframe.
Okay. So
Tell me why you want to bone this beast here.
Okay, I'm gonna start with my killing thing first.
Oh yeah.
So I guess I'm gonna kill Simba?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, well, we're using Saber's picture, so I'll just, so I'm gonna kill Simba, because look at the smug look on that bastard's face.
No, you're not, okay, you lost your chance there.
I can't say how I want to kill Saberspark in a blaze of glory, and like we don't, like me and him don't talk about beating each other and killing each other and calling each other nerds on the daily. People don't want to see our DMs. Okay, I'm gonna kill Simba because you know what? He doesn't deserve to be king. He was always so petulant and everything. And what happened? You know what? Enigma pointed out that it was also Lion King 2, right? Can
yes.
we just point out that he firmly reestablished racism back into the Pride, because there's a whole faction of lions that just are out in the outlands, and we don't see hyenas anymore. Why is that fucking happening there? So that means, so no one is truly in the circle of life. He literally is part of a song called "Not One of Us." So I'm going to kill that Matthew Broderick ass motherfucker. I mean, we already knew Ferris Bueller was a sociopath anyways. This is just him as a furry. I love Matthew Broderick. Why did I do that? So then that means I'm going to marry Leo from Leo and the Lion. I mean, he looks like he needs a strong woman in his life, honestly.
Also, he looks like a lengthy guy. He looks kind of like the Shaggy of lions.
Which means that he fits into my
Uh-huh.
You know, the thinning hair, the lankiness, like all that kind of stuff. I feel like I can help that he would already be my type. And we're gonna be turning into lions with our marrying and fucking options, right? We're not humans, right?
Oh.
I don't want to be a Tiger King, but with lions. But also, I just
Tiger
think that he
fucker,
needs...
and he fucked a tiger.
I did not fuck a tiger! A tiger fucker. No, everyone watch Twisted. He just looks like he needs a strong woman in his life. And as we saw from my gym picks, I am strong woman.
That's true.
So I think he would, he would benefit. I could teach him how to have a backbone. Not in a mean way, but in like Rocky's trainer kind of thing. I'd be his trainer wife. It'd be great. And then I'm going to... Okay, how do I dignify fucking the man-child?
I mean, look at this. This is by the way, and this is a very rarely known fact, but this is a picture of his O-face.
Oh God! Imagine an orgasm noise. What would that sound like when turtles are making love and it's just? I'll say a fact at the pre-show about that, but okay, you know what? Okay, I am not gonna fuck him for character because at this point, this is not a fuck out of love. This is a fuck out of necessity, because this guy is going to literally change the times of the Bible. So maybe I can help the world by fucking him. I could be like, look, if you do this, can you tell them to take out the part of the Bible about Sodom and Gomorrah that people constantly use to justify hating gay people?
Or just maybe, maybe that's in generally the problem, that he manipulated the Bible, and because he didn't get laid, he made the entire Christianity such a prude thing. And you just generally open it up for...
Maybe if I give him a nut, I can save the world. I'm gonna save Christianity one nut at a time.
That's the spirit.
No, that's awkward. That's what it is.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random grabs. Time for awkward gags. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward gags. It's the awkward. Artwork and analysis, which you do not want to miss on awkward.